Hi year 8s, we are doing equations today, our new topic. One of my favourite topics, solving equations. Copy down the notes and I'll explain them all in a few minutes. They're all examples. Alright, so a few bits you've got to remember. You've done this in year 7. To solve an equation, we need to get the pronumeral, whatever the letter is, by itself. So the way you do that, you have to do a bunch of steps. So we must perform the same operation to each side. So remember, if you've got x plus 3, you've got to get rid of the plus 3. How do you get rid of plus 3? You minus 3. Which side do you minus 3 to? Both sides. Always the answer is both sides. So you minus 3 to both sides, you get x by itself, or whatever the pronumeral is, and then you get an answer. And the other thing is, set your working out down the page nice and neatly. That is key for this, and do not skip steps. You must show each step of working out, and then you'll be able to do any of the hardest problems. So, revision from year 7. So let's look at this one, everyone. X plus 5 equals 7. So that we want to get x by itself. So here we've got x plus 5. So we're going to get rid of the plus 5. How do we do that? We do the opposite, which is minus 5. So we minus 5 to both sides. And plus 5 minus 5, they cancel. Put the equal sign nice and neatly underneath. So we're just left with x now, because plus 5 minus 5 is 0. So we've got 7 minus 5, which is 2. So that's the correct way to explain it to you. Some people say you bring the 5 to this side or whatever, but I'm showing you mathematically how you do it. Next one, which is right here. 4x is equal to 20. That means 4 times x. So x is being times by 4. What's the opposite of timesing by 4? Dividing by 4. Which side do you divide by 4? The answer is always both sides. So you divide by 4 like that. I always do over 4 like that. The 4's cancel on this side, so you're left with x. So that's the reason why we did it, because we've got x by itself now. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Easy. Next one. What's happening to x? We've got x divided by 3. What's the opposite of divide by 3? We times by 3. Which side? Both sides. So we times both sides by 3, they cancel, and you're left with x equals 6 times 3, which is 18. That's their one-step equations, because one step and you've solved it. Once you get good at the questions, you don't have to write minus 5, minus 5. If you can just do that in your head, that's great. But you must show at least, that's the answer. But in these next ones, they're two-step equations. So let's have a look. So we've got 3x plus 2 is equal to 17. So the rule is pretty much anything furthest away from x you do first. So we're going to get rid of this plus 2. What's the opposite of plus 2? Minus 2. So you minus 2 to both sides, they cancel. This time we're left with 3x. Put the equal sign nice and neat going down the page. 17 minus 2 is 15. Now we've got 3x. How do we get rid of times by 3? We divide by 3. Which side? Both sides. They cancel. You're left with x equals 15 divided by 3, which is 5. That's a two-step equation. So these are the steps of working out that you must show. If you just go straight to the answer, you'll lose a mark definitely. So here we've got x divided by 5 plus 1 is equal to 5. So we're going to get rid of plus 1 by minusing 1 to both sides. They cancel. X divided by 5 is equal to 4. Times both sides by 5. I'll just put the working out in. And we get x equals 4 times 5, which is 20. So that's the workings out you must show. Now, this one I wanted to show you. Back at this one, we've got the plus 1 just tacked onto the end, so we subtract 1 to both sides. This one's slightly different. Some people who do it wrong, they say, oh, let's get rid of the plus 3, and that is incorrect. The whole thing is divided by 2. So to solve this equation this time, first step is we multiply both sides by 2. So the 2's cancel. We're left with x plus 3 is equal to 7 times 2, which is 14. Now we subtract 3 from both sides, and we get x equals 14 minus 3, which is 11. And if you wanted to check your answer, you could always substitute your answer back into the equation. So you can say 11 plus 3 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Works for any of these equations. X is 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So you can check your answer once you've done it. Good job. That's solving equations. The second part of this exercise, by the way, we are doing 7a and 7b combined together. Worded questions. So in these questions, read the question carefully, and the first step is you have to write an equation first. You write an equation and then you solve for that equation. Alright, a number is doubled and then 7 is added. The result is 10, and then we'll say find the number or the pronumeral. Okay, I'm going to call the numbers x in each time. So the number is doubled, so that would be 2x, double the number, times it by 2. And then 7 is added, so plus 7, and it says the result is 10. So there's my equation, 2x plus 7 is equal to 10. So now that I've got my equation, I can solve. So minus 7 to both sides, you get 2x equals 3. I didn't think this one through too well. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x equals 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it as 3 over 2. Normally I'll make it whole numbers, but this time it's okay. It's 3 over 2. Excellent. That's how you do it. So that's a process anyway. Next one. Megan worked X hours at $15 per hour. She earned $105 in total. How long did she work for? So she earns $15 per hour. So that's 15 times by X. $15 times by the number of hours. And the total is 105. So what do? We divide both sides by 15, and you get X equals, so now we have to work out how many 15s go into that. So 30, 15 goes in twice. 90, it would be 6, so that would be 7 times. Or you can use a calculator, 105 divided by 15. I'm not showing the workings out anymore, so divide by 15, and there's your answer. So X equals 7. Since it's a worded question, you should always answer in words. How long did she work? You should say, Megan worked for 7 hours. Check your answer. 7 times 15 should be 105, and you know you've got the right answer. Great, let's do the next one. A number is tripled and 5 is taken away from the result, and then that equals 25. So a number is tripled, so we've got 3x, and 5 is taken away, so minus 5, and then that result is 25. Does everyone understand that? 3x minus 5 is equal to 25. So now we plus, this time, how do you get rid of minus 5? You plus 5 to both sides. So we get 3x equals 30. Divide both sides by 3, and you get x equals 10. And 10 is our original number. And again, you can substitute it back into the question and see if you've got the right answer to check your work. Alrighty, last one. Twice a number is subtracted from 20. Now, this one, a lot of people, and it says the result is 8. A lot of people make a mistake from this one. They say twice a number, they go 2x, they see the word subtracted and 20, so they write 2x minus 20. That is incorrect. If you read it carefully, it says twice a number, yep, that's 2x. Twice a number is subtracted from 20. So 20 minus 2x. See, 20, twice a number is subtracted from 20, and the result is 8. Alright, so there's our equation this time. So now this one's a bit more complicated. So you've got to subtract 20 from both sides. So we've got minus 2x. What's 8 minus 20? That is minus 12. Now, it's minus 2 times x. So to get rid of minus 2, you divide by minus 2, because it's minus 2 times x. The opposite is divide. The minus 2's cancel, and you get x equals minus 12 divided by minus 2 is positive 6. So again, if you want to substitute that back into the question, twice a number, so twice a number is 12. 12 is subtracted from 20. 20 minus 12 is 8, so we know we've got the right answer. So that was kind of a backwards one. A lot of people make a mistake with that. Read the question carefully. Excellent, we're almost done. Now, another worded problem. Well, this time it's got a picture. So it's a square or a rectangle. It's actually a rectangle because that one's 12 and that one's 13, that side. So the question will say solve for the pronumerals. There's an x we've got to solve for and a y. How do you do this one? Well, what do we know about a rectangle? We know that this side here is the same length as that side there. So we can make an equation. We can say 3x plus 1 is equal to 13. And then we can solve it. And again, we know this one here is the same as that one. So 4y is equal to 12. 4y is equal to 12. This one's easy to solve. Divide both sides by 4 and you get y is equal to 3. This one, minus 1 to both sides. So we get 3x equals 12. Divide by 3 and you get x equals 4. That's how you do it. So that side is equal to that side. So 3x plus 1 is equal to 13. And then also 4y is equal to 12. So they're equal because you know that about a rectangle. Alright, now the last one's slightly different. It says that's x plus 1 and that's 5. And that's the perimeter. The perimeter is equal to 32. So find the value of x. First thing I would do is fill in these two. That's x plus 1, that's 5 as well. We know the perimeter is when you add all the sides up together. So we've got x plus 1 plus 5 plus x plus 1 plus 5. If you want to write all that out, you can. And that equals 32 because that's a perimeter. Now we collect like terms. X plus x is 2x, and that's 10 and that's 12. So 2x plus 12 equals 32. Now we've got an equation we can solve. Minus 12 from both sides, you get 2x equals 20. Divide by 2, x equals 10. And you can check your answer if you want. That's a sensible answer. You notice my workings out. I've put the equal sign nice and neatly down the page, and each step is just one step more simple. So I've simplified the equation one step at a time. I show all my workings out so I don't make silly mistakes. You try and skip steps in your head, you're more likely to make a mistake. Good job everyone, that's all for today. So we've got 7a, we've got some questions there, the worded ones. 7b, I want you to try those. A lot of it's revision from year 7. Good luck and see you soon.